Good morning. It's Monday morning. It's cozy sweater time. I swear this background looks totally like a green screen. I promise you it's not. Um, we did the deed. If you read quickly at the beginning, my my title, I asked, did you do the deed? Good morning, Don. Peace be with you. Angela, good morning. And Libby, good morning. Happy Monday. Good morning, Dottie. Peace be with everyone. And peace and warmth be with everyone. Good morning, Tina. Good to see you this morning. It's Cranberries and Conversation edition of Coffee and Conversation on a Monday morning. And yeah, so this happened and this happened. They both happened. The snow magically fell right as we were putting up our Christmas tree. So my question to you this morning is, before we get to the obvious one, is did you do the deed? Did you put up your Christmas tree yet? I know a lot of people like to do it on Thanksgiving weekend. So what? Oh, the deed. Libby was asking, meaning decorate your house for Christmas. Yeah, the tree actually is specifically what I was talking about. The tree. I'm wondering, did you put up your Christmas tree? We put up the Christmas tree, but that's it. Like, we didn't get really much of anything else put up, but that was it. Our goal is always to. Tina says yes. Yes, and thank you. The tree it does look really beautiful. It's so cool. Millie says no. We got a live tree, so closer to Christmas. Yeah, everybody has different traditions, and I was really curious to ask our faith and real life family community. What do you do? How do you do it? Some people I have heard stories of people who wait literally until Christmas Eve, and that's when they put up their Christmas tree. Good morning. Welcome to the Cranberries and Conversation edition of Coffee and Conversation. Dottie says no trees up here. All right. Libby did. I went to get a Christmas tree to a Christmas tree farm and got my first live tree in my apartment. That's really cool. Congratulations, Libby. You know, I think it's so interesting. I always find it interesting what everybody's traditions are. What do people like to do? How do they celebrate? Some people love it, put it up even sometimes before Christmas or before Thanksgiving. So they have the tree up for Thanksgiving. Angela says, yes, partly cut down our tree Saturday, put it in the stand, still have to decorate it. Oh, thank you for your compliment about the tree. Angela, but that's okay because take your time. Some people like to decorate their tree a little bit every week so that it's not fully done until Christmas Eve, ready for Christmas. But for many people, many of us here included, this after Thanksgiving signifies the beginning of Advent. So let me ask you, after Thanksgiving or like once Thanksgiving happens and then it's Saturday and Sunday of the weekend, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, do you start feeling this like pressure, this urge, as much as you try not to? Do you feel this like all of a sudden, for us in our house, it's, we're talking about lists with the kids. Hey, people are asking, what are you interested in? What do you need? What do you want for Christmas? We'd like to get you something, fun or, something that you need useful. So that starts sort of that feeling and, of course, take away all the commercials and the ads and all the things that, are being pushed at you that you need to buy this and you need to buy that. And this is going to make you happy and blah, blah, blah. I just wonder if, even as much as you try, do you feel that sense of urgency? Like, oh my gosh, the clock is ticking. I only have 3.5 or 4 more weeks until I, have to have all my stuff done and that kind of stuff. Tina says they decorated the house last week. Outside decorations yesterday and tree yesterday. It's so much to put up. Yeah. Want to enjoy it and the Christmas season. Yeah. Without feeling, the pressure, I think is what she meant to say. But yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. The pressure. Exactly, Tina. Welcome. Good morning to Coffee. Cranberries and Conversation version of Coffee and Conversation this morning. We're talking about what your traditions are. What do you do? Do you put the tree up right away? Do you not? Some people, like Tina said, put the outside decorations out first, and then the weekend of Thanksgiving, put up the Christmas tree itself. I was looking up information about the Christmas tree because I'm sure over the years, it's been brought up about what does the Christmas tree mean and that kind of thing. What have you heard? What do you know about the Christmas tree, and why do we put it up? Why do we, make such, certainly decorating the house is one thing, but why do we put up the tree? And I'm sure all of you have heard all kinds of things about that, rumors or stories or, things that have been handed down about that. But I wanted to Google it and look up what does Google say? We'll see. I don't know if it's, I looked at a bunch of different places and they're all kind of similar. So these have to be pretty close to the way it started. Good morning. Peace be with you. Thanks for joining us on Coffee and Conversation. If you haven't seen, my name's Aimee Wasinski. I never said my name. I guess a lot of you know who I am, but if you're just joining us for the first time, we're glad you're here. We're talking about Christmas and a little bit of Advent, but right now we're talking about the Christmas tree. So it says on history.com, so I think we can trust that. Long before the advent of Christianity, plants and trees that remained green all year long had a special meaning for people in winter. Just as today people decorating their homes during the festive season with pine, spruce, and fir trees, ancient peoples hung evergreen boughs over their doors and windows. In many countries, I found this really interesting. In many countries, it was believed that evergreens would keep away witches, ghosts, and evil spirits and illness. So interesting, because it was seen as a sign of longevity, the fact that it would last all year long. That the green would be beautiful all year long. I thought this was another one that was interesting. In the Northern Hemisphere, the shortest day and longest night of the year falls on December 21st or 22nd and is called the winter solstice. Many of you know that. Many ancient people believed that the sun was a god and that winter came every year because the sun god had become sick and weak. I thought I'd never heard that before. They celebrated the solstice because it meant that at last the sun god would begin to get well again. Evergreen boughs reminded them of all the green plants that would grow again soon when the sun god was strong and winter would return. I never really thought of it as the sun getting sick, but interesting. Things you didn't know. All right here, things you didn't know about the Christmas tree or the evergreen. Why do we use the evergreen and whatnot? Ancient Egyptians worshipped a god called Ra, who had the head of a hawk and wore the sun as a blazing disc in his crown. Oh, that doesn't seem very Christmassy, but at the solstice, when Ra began to recover from his illness, the Egyptians filled their home with green palm rushes, which symbolized for them the triumph of life over death. Interesting. You start to see some of the threads of Christianity there. Early Romans marked the solstice with a feast called Saturnalia, the honor of Saturn, the god of agriculture. The Romans knew that the solstice meant that soon farms and orchards would be green and fruitful. To mark the occasions, they decorated their homes and temples with evergreen boughs. Lots of people did this. I see this. In Northern Europe, the mysterious Druids, the priests of the ancient Celts, or Celts, I'm not sure, I think it's Celts, also decorated their temples with evergreen boughs as a symbol of everlasting life. That was the word I wanted, that evergreens are everlasting. The fierce Vikings in Scandinavia thought that evergreens were the special plant of the sun god Balder. So everybody's kind of I'm seeing lots of similar themes here. Germany is credited with starting the Christmas tree tradition as we know it now, Way back though in the 16th century, when Christians brought decorated trees into their homes, some even built pyramids of wood and decorated them with evergreens and candles. But if wood was scarce, then they would go out and they would cut down a tree, an evergreen, because obviously they were looking for the pyramid idea, reaching up to the heavens. First, let's see. Oh, it is widely believed that Martin Luther in the 16th century first added lighted candles to a tree. Walking toward his home one winter evening, composing a sermon, he was awed by the brilliance of the stars twinkling amidst the evergreens. So to recapture that scene for his family, he erected the tree in the main room and wired its branches with lit candles. Now, I don't know about you, but lit candles on an evergreen tree inside doesn't seem like a very good idea. But who's to say? They didn't have electricity yet at that point. So anyway, it says the first record of a Christmas tree being on display was in 1830s by German settlers in Pennsylvania. Although the trees had been a tradition in many German homes much earlier, the Pennsylvania German settlement had a community of trees as early as 1747. So let's just say we've been putting trees in our homes, no matter what the tradition is. We've been doing it for a really long time. But I like that. It's interesting. All of the customs are all similar, about everlasting life, the fact that the evergreens hold a special feel to them. So it's not surprising that we bring them inside to enjoy their beauty while, as you can see out the windows, the snow has completely covered all of the beauty of the outside, although it is beautiful in itself. That is for sure. So everything you wanted to know about the Christmas tree and the history of the Christmas tree. So thank you, Germans, and all of you with German descent, for bringing the Christmas tree tradition over to America. One more thing I did find interesting. The tree. Okay. So it's not surprising that, like many other Christmas festive customs, the tree was adopted late in America. To the New England Puritans, Christmas was sacred, which I think we all still feel it's sacred, although the society is always tries to pull us away from that. But the Pilgrims' second governor, William Bradford, wrote that he tried hard to stamp out the pagan mockery of the observance, penalizing any frivolity. So the influential Oliver Cromwell preached against the heathen traditions of Christmas carols, decorated trees, and any joyful expression that desecrated the sacred event. So can you believe it was actually an offense that people were fined or hanged? Or no, not hanged, fined for hanging decorations, singing carols, whatever it was that was joyful to them. So really interesting stuff I found about the Christmas tree. But it kind of just kind of reminds me, and looking all of that up and reminds me, I know I had heard a story about, the Christmas tree, points us to heaven, which we are certainly always trying to keep that focus heavenward, that the star, at the top of the tree represents the Star of Bethlehem. And we do, I can't see if I can do this. We do have a star at the top of the tree. Yes, it has Mickey and Minnie on it, but we have a star at the top of the tree. But the reason I was bringing up traditions and symbolism of different things, as I mentioned, it is really difficult during this time to, good morning, Anne. It is really difficult, I feel like, anyway, for me. I don't know about for you. Tell me, is it difficult for you to keep your focus on the meaning of Christmas and focusing on Advent? And what is Advent for us? I don't know if any of you do the little Advent book, the little blue books that they have available. A lot of churches have them, but there are other Advent resources too. Do you use an Advent resource? That's better my question now this morning. Do you use an Advent resource to help you stay focused through the season of Advent. Give me a thumbs up in the comments if you use some kind of Advent resource to kind of keep your mind focused on the meaning. It's not about all the stuff that we give. And I'm sure, people talk about this every year. It's not about the stuff, because you know what? Honestly, you can't take the stuff with you. When we are called home to our Heavenly Father, we can't take all this stuff with us, no matter what it is. We can't take the tree, and we can't take the ornaments, and we can't do all that. So this week, my challenge to you is, if you don't have something that you do to focus on Christmas, if you're just kind of, getting your list together of what to buy and what are we gonna have for dinner on Christmas, and decorating your homes, those are all fine things. They're all things to help prepare us to celebrate with our families and to make it special. But what are you doing to help focus your heart and your mind on and I don't want to say the true meaning of Christmas, because that sounds so cliche, but what are we doing to stay focused? Because the world, the society is telling us, you got to buy more, you got to buy bigger. This is going to make you happy. Well, let's think about what really does make us happy. Probably, I would guess that most of you say our families make us happy. Maybe not. Maybe that's not what makes you happy. Maybe it's just your spouse or a best friend. Maybe you're not married, so maybe that's not it. Maybe it's our pets are certainly special to us, right? And they mean a lot to us. And so what's really important? All this stuff is not, and we all know this, right? But we can get caught up in the festivities, and everything has to be beautiful in a certain way, and we can agonize over the way we set our tables. But there's some people who probably really this Christmas just what's most important to them is their health. And that's really all they care about, because you know what? They don't want any gifts. They really only want the gift of health. Or maybe they really just want the gift of a child. They've been wanting a child, maybe a couple. There are so many things. There are so many other things that are so much more meaningful than stuff. Natalie and I were talking about that, and she said, it's always so hard. I can't think of enough things that people want to get things, right, for the kids. And so everybody's trying to come up with, what can we get? And then there's the gift card idea, right? And the gift card allows somebody to have a gift. You're giving them something, but they can pick out what they want, right? That's always, at least in our house, that's always a thing that we talk about. Do you just get a gift card? Is that a cop out? Is that, because you didn't know what to buy them, so you bought them a gift card so they could buy what they wanted? But I think in a lot of cases, it's because you want the person to have something that they want, and you might not know what that is, but at least the gift of a gift card allows them to have the to know that you care about them, to know that you want that you want them to be happy in some way. And if that's, having dinner at your favorite restaurant, or if that's, going shopping at Macy's, or, something. But we were talking about it, and Natalie said, what about experiences? Sometimes that's better than a gift. If you can, Millie says, oh yeah, exactly, Millie, have them take her to lunch and spend time. Exactly. How about the gift of time, right? We can certainly give those gifts. And Natalie said, well, maybe they don't want to go on that, I don't know, trip out west with you, but you could get them, if it's a backpacking trip, you can get them some of the stuff to go on the trip, right? You can get the backpack, you can get some of the gear that they need, so that they can then plan the trip that they've always wanted to go on. So just a reminder that you can give people different kinds of gifts. It may not have to be the physical something, but for those people who are wishing for good health, or missing loved ones that they've lost, that the stuff is not as important, right? It's spending the time and the memories that we make with each other, and the time that we spend. I'm always trying to remind the kids of that. We only have such a short time together. Let's make it nice. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, but we want to enjoy the time that we do have together, because then the time that we're apart, we're missing each other. So anyway, the gift of time. Oh, which, by the way, I should say, in talking about the gift of time, we now have Trilogy gift cards. Yay! Dun, 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 dun. Cheers to Trilogy gift cards. You can give the gift of time. And I totally was not, I was only going to mention that. Well, I guess we are at the end. I was going to say I was only going to mention it at the end as some of our announcements. But it kind of fit in well with our talking about giving the gift of an experience. So anyway, cheers to giving the gift of an experience, or to spending time with someone that you love and that you care about. But we have Trilogy gift cards, so people could come and enjoy beautiful views that we have, and just getting away from the world. You really can kind of shut the world out when you're here, and sometimes we need that. That's not a bad thing, right? Sometimes we need that time to spend just sort of refocusing ourselves and recentering and restoring. You're all going to need that after Christmas, right? Because everybody goes crazy and rush and do. But my challenge, back to my challenge, is find some kind of a resource to help keep you focused on not being so, don't get caught up so much in, let's see, I don't need that banner anymore. Don't get caught so much up in all the hubbub and the hullabaloo and the materialism, if you will, about Christmas. Let's try to keep focused on what's most important in our lives. Who's most important to us? What's most important to us? This is a time of preparation, right? We talk about preparing for the baby Jesus coming, right, in church, and we're preparing. If anything, you're preparing for Christmas. But what does that mean for you? So I challenge you to find something to help you focus on Advent this season. This little Advent book, you can find it. It's meant to just have you focus 6 minutes a day, just 6 minutes out of your day. I know you can find 6 minutes to do any kind of reflection on Advent, to just try to keep your heart centered. 6 minutes a day is all you need through this whole season and into the new year. And it's a chance for us to sort of, the year-end review, right, in your head. So have a great week. Really, have a great week. Cheers to a good week. Oh, I'm going to lose my computer there. All right. Yes, need to get this little book today. Anne happens to go to our church, so Anne, you can get them in our gathering area. Cheers to a great week ahead. Stay focused on what's most important in your life, and find ways to give people the gift of you, an experience, whatever it is, the stuff we can't take with us. All right. So cheers. Love you. Happy Monday. Happy rest of the week. As I did mention, we do have Trilogy gift cards. If you'd like to give people the gift of an experience, we can give them that experience, that opportunity to get away, or for some reflection, direction. We're happy to do that. We'll cook for you. We will spoil you. So anyway, give us the chance to do that if we can. So Trilogy gift cards. Tomorrow we have Carrie, as usual. I think we have our usual lineup this week. Carrie, and then Wednesday is Millie with Wednesday Wisdom, and then Thursday should be Greg. And Mr. King, would you like to give a little? You want to have a day? And then Dawn, hopefully Dawn will be with us on Friday. I'm not sure what the story is. Why are the lights changing? Hello. Anyway, happy Monday. Love you guys. Have a great week. And may God be with you this week.